Do we believe that he will be there week 1 Monday night against the Broncos?
I don't know going into a season how you can ever bet against Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes.
People are doing it, though. A lot of people are tossing dirt on that grave. But we've seen now a pattern where the Justin Herbert of the regular season, and that guy is amazing, doesn't seem to translate into the same guy we see in the postseason. How worrisome is that?
I think it's worrisome, Trey.
Do we believe the Raiders have finally made a turn in the right direction? Because I gotta be honest, I feel like they're starting to do things the way a responsible organization would do things. They're probably going to still finish 4th in this division, right?
Inside Football is proud to have Joey as our presenting partner. Nicotine with a quick hit, long tail, in the strength of your choice. As a thank you for being part of Inside Football's crew, we teamed up with Joey to give you a 35% discount on your first order. Get it all at meetjoey.com/football.
The AFC West is loaded with a lot of drama and a lot of things that could go a bunch of different ways. And while the Broncos did win the division, and they were great last year, I think everyone is curious what happens with the Kansas City Chiefs, right? You have Patrick Mahomes out there blowing out his knee in late December, and he's looked good. I personally think he's going to be there week 1. I mean, that guy's just a fast healer, right? He dislocated his kneecap in 2019. He missed 2 games, played on a freaking high ankle sprain in 2 straight weeks in the playoffs. He's always been a fast healer. So let's start there. Do we believe that he will be there week 1 Monday night against the Broncos?
I do 100%.
Yes.
I do. And I don't know going into a season how you can ever bet against Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. People are doing it, though. A lot of people are tossing dirt on that grave.
Well, it's funny because it's just, they're like they're the orbit. Mm-hmm. Everybody else.
Right.
And they're just kind of hanging there, you know what I mean?
Right.
But you're right. I mean, I had Carson Palmer obviously blew his ACL, playoffs 05, in the playoffs. Yeah. And he started Week 1.
Keim von Oelhoffen, I believe, was the culprit.
It rolled up into him.
We don't want to talk about that.
We don't want to place blame.
No.
Right.
But anyway. But
it was not intentional. It was not intentional.
Patrick's too competitive. I think he'll want to come back and play every game. I think he'll do everything he can to get on the field. And he won't play if he's not healthy, but his competitive nature won't let him miss any games.
And Andy won't let him play if he's
not healthy.
Right. Yeah. And the thing, Marvin, I'm sure you experienced is, what I have seen when guys get hurt in November and December, I always give them till Halloween.
Yeah.
Because we're not playing in the preseason. And we don't have 6 weeks of 2-a-day pads and everything.
Correct.
So the athlete that we are seeing in September, and I even look at the regular season, you don't know the team until they play 4 games, 4 real games, not them preseason.
Completely agree.
4, and then we should reassess, okay, everyone in the division, because it takes that with the lack of all season, the little bit of OTAs, the lack of banging back-to-back in training camp, like the injured guys. That's why the longevity of these players, to me, will always be in question because of how callous is the body to get ready for the season, and they've eliminated a lot of that.
Well, there's also one thing, too, to think about. A lot of these guys with lower extremity injuries, they come into the season, and it may be one thing to have a healed knee, right? But there is a mental aspect of friendly fire that messes with your head. Yeah. When you start feeling bodies around your feet and it's full speed, and you don't get that aspect in the preseason, it's a different animal.
Well, to your point, that's a great point that you brought up there, because I don't know many people remember this. I don't know why it stuck with me. But in July of 2008, Payton Manning had a knee surgery, not on the knee, but there was an infected bursa sac underneath the knee. Mm-hmm. And he didn't play in any preseason games, didn't have any training camp, and he was really rusty for the first 7 games, started 3-4.
We played him early in the season that year. He wasn't the same.
Yeah, he wasn't the same guy. Now, he went on to have an MVP season that year.
Yep.
But to your point, like that guy that shows up week 1, he may be there in uniform, but he may not be the guy that's worn that uniform. Mm-hmm. So I think it's going to take a little while. But then you look at all the other question marks, okay? Obviously, when Rashi is able to be on the field, he's a very good component for them. Right. His problem has been his ability to be available. As our friend Herm Edwards say, availability is the best ability. Can we count on Rashee Rice at this point?
I don't. I spoke to Travis Kelce a couple of days ago, and the person that he was ranting and raving, not even himself. He said, besides Patrick Mahomes, the leader of the passing attack should be Xavier Worthy.
Yeah.
He's like, Cris, he gonna light it up. I was like, really? Like some of the intermediate stuff, we know he's got downtown speed, blazing speed, can be a gadget guy, but route run, he said, Cris, he has been the most exciting thing that we have seen this offseason. So for me, I like the source.
Yeah.
Quality
source.
Yep.
Solid.
I like the source. And for them to go to the next level, they got to have a guy on the outside that can demand some attention.
Yeah.
Like they have milked the Travis Kelce, great career and everything. Sure. But at some point you got to transition. Everyone did it. Denver, off of Shannon. He ends up going to Baltimore. Kansas City, Gonzalez. He ends up going to Atlanta. Now Travis is with there and Patrick, but at one point, how successful can you be where your priority, number one receiver, is the tight end? I think it's time to transition, especially after having a conversation with him.
Well, that's interesting because a lot of people are looking at Travis, and I didn't think he played that poorly last year. I thought he got off to a slow start. He winged Xavier in the first game of the year, in Brazil, and that sort of knocked everybody out of whack to begin. But where are we and what Travis can be? When Patrick was playing in the middle of that season, I thought that Travis was still productive. He was still healthy. Yeah. And then when obviously Patrick went down and then it all sort of went to hell in a handbasket. So what kind of season can he have?
Well, I think Travis has had a few things to go through. He's worked through in the offseason this year. But dude's a competitor. I mean, he's a pro, he's a competitor, and he is not going to go down without a fight. And I watched them practice a couple years ago when they were getting ready for the Super Bowl there in Arizona. And it's like they're playing basketball. Those two have like
a mind meld.
And then, I got to study them on tape. I've done some of their games and getting ready to play what a year and I spent with the Raiders and just watching how they do things. It's uncanny. Because if you're there, Trey, then I'm going this way. Mm-hmm. If Steve's here, I'm going this way. Mm-hmm. And they see it all the same way. And that's why Xavier Worthy now, second year, got third year got an opportunity now to be part of that, to be able to handle the zone and stuff when they get zone. Mm-hmm. But when they get man-to-man, boy, he can fly.
I will say this about Travis Kelce, and I don't want to take anything away from his Hall of Fame career, but two things. Number one, age, father time is undefeated. Right. And two, when I watched early tape last year, he lives a good life. Yeah. He showed up out of shape. Yeah. He was not in shape early in the season last year.
No, he is bigger. Yeah. No, he's bigger. And I've been knowing him since his first. We did his combine training. The training staff. I used to own several gyms in South Florida. We did combine training. His trainer he still has. I gave him his first job, Andrew. Andrew is the deal. Okay. So as Travis is around, like Andrew will get you there. But being rich and being successful. Yeah. Like it's how much do I really, really, really have to do this? And I have seen, and I talked to Travis about this, what does your last fight look like? I said, look at the greatest in any sport, Kobe, basketball, boxing, Ali, and take any sport, decathlon, cycling, and look at the greatest of the greats. They last fight, not proud of it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, very few go out on top. Even Peyton Manning won his last game, Super Bowl 50. I mean, of the 22 Broncos starters, he was probably the 19th most effective starter in that game.
Throwing them helicopter balls.
Let's just be honest about it. So the other part with the Chiefs is really interesting is the offensive line, which has sort of been in and out of flux. Look, Creed Humphrey is still there, due for a big payday thanks to Tyler Linderbaum, who we will talk about in a little bit. They still have Trey Smith there, but there's been some fluctuation. Can they count on Josh Simmons, the kid they got out of Ohio State, who, when he's there, was awesome. And the only reason he was available for them in the draft last year is because of the knee injury he had. But they had some issues at tackle. And, do we think that offensive line is going to be there? Because if Patrick's going to be a little slow coming back from this thing, and maybe that's why they went out and got Kenneth Walker, take some of that pressure off him.
Running the ball solves a lot of problems, I feel like. And Andy Reid will find ways to get guys open to get rid of the football. Patrick's smart enough to get rid of the football as well, not take the hits. But if you run the football in the NFL, you're going to be successful. And I think he'll find ways to do that. He's always done it. And he's one of the smartest guys ever, not just in the league right now, but ever at scoring points and moving the football. Patrick comes back healthy, I think they'll be able to do all that.
And they incorporated the run-pass option stuff. But this won't be Pat basically carrying it. It'll be run, pass.
Yes.
That way. You know what I mean? Where he's moving, but he's got an outlet that puts even more pressure, makes the defense defend all 11
Right.
So
and
hard.
defend the field.
Yep.
And the
Which
one
is
thing
hard.
you got to respect is Andy Reid going out and bringing back Eric Bieniemy.
Correct.
Now, to me, if you want a guy, like we talked about one of your guys, one of the coaches that you coach, when someone said, hey, you got any coach to recommend? Hey, hire Hugh. Because Hugh will tell the people that's what
get 'em
EB
right.
does.
He's
It's
the
like,
enforcer.
oh, he will get them right. Now, he'll say things about you, your family, and everything to get the best out of you.
Don't take it personal.
No, it's definitely.
Yeah, I
on the
mean, I
sideline
love
with
you,
y'all.
but this is what we got to do.
Yes.
Bruce Arians used to say, I love you as a person, but your football sucks.
Yeah.
As long as there's a delineation somewhere.
On the
As long as there's a
sideline,
delineation
yeah.
somewhere, we're
Yeah.
good with that.
Yes.
So on the
Always
defense,
yapping.
yeah.
Always.
Sorry, Bieniemy.
Yes.
Bieniemy yapping on the sideline to us on
Yeah.
the field when he was at Minnesota.
Yeah.
Always.
Constantly.
Short little guy over there, always yapping.
On the defensive side of the ball, now there's going to be a lot of changes. I don't know where Chris Jones is going to be at this point in his career. There was a 2 or 3 year stretch when they were going to the Super Bowl every year where he was one of the top 2 defensive tackles in football. Not even close. Karlaftis, they've got there. There's been a lot of change in that secondary, right? One thing I know about the Chiefs, because they drafted that kid Mansour Delane out of Clemson?
LSU.
LSU, sorry.
Yeah.
He'll have a good 4 years because they ain't going to pay him. I mean, they do not pay corners.
Which is really interesting from the general manager's seat, the positions I think about when I think about the core of your team that are
Corners.
hard to find.
Yeah.
Left tackles, quarterbacks, corners.
Yeah. And that's just the Brett Veach way, whether it's,
Draft 'em.
it was Travaris Ward
Develop 'em.
or whether it was
Yeah.
Legarius, who's back now, and now O.J. McDuffie and Jalen Watson are both with the Rams. They do not pay corners. How much stress does that put on Steve Spagnuolo every year?
It does. It puts a lot of stress on Spags. Spags got a playbook this big, though.
Yeah.
And, he just keeps digging further in and finding a way. And they also have smart guys who can handle the plan. And that's really important. They know how to apply the plan to the opponent. But you're right, what Steve said about cornerbacks. It's rare in the National Football League that you find productive starting corners that weren't picked in the first round. There's been a few. Sante Samuel.
Yeah.
Charles Tillman.
But just a few. We know them because they stand out. And in our mind, we're like, damn, that guy's a really good player. And he went in the second, third, or fourth round.
It's like they just believe
mostly
that Spags,
they come in the first round.
They just believe Spags going to turn somebody into somebody.
they're gonna do
And
it.
for his credit, he does most of the time. But it's a crazy
Our
situation.
middle linebacker is really good. Nick Bolton, I
Yeah.
don't think he gets enough credit
Yeah,
for the
I
job
agree.
he's done.
I agree.
Man, he's always around the football.
Yeah, he's a glue guy for them.
Always on the field, gets them lined up. He makes
He's a
that-
system
makes that
guy for
defense good.
Spags, too.
Yeah.
For sure.
He
Yeah,
gets them.
trust
He
him.
understands we're running this pressure, and we know the protection's going here. So now let's check it.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
those are the kind of things they're able to
Exactly
do.
right.
But the Chiefs did not make the playoffs last year. Was the Denver Broncos, who went to the AFC Championship Game with an incredible run of one-score games, which we found out from the Chiefs last year. You can do that 1 year, 2 years. You can't do it 3 years in a row.
Right. You said about the Bears.
That stuff will catch up to you.
Look, Inside Football is proud to have Joey as our presenting partner. Nicotine with a quick hit, long tail, in the strength of your choice. No tobacco leaf, no smoke, no spit. 36 flavors, 3 strengths, 108 ways to find yours. And if you're out on the golf course, a Joey in the cart is just as good as it is in the studio. Whether we're breaking down tape or breaking down the league, Joey's right there with us every episode. As a thank you for being part of Inside Football's crew, we teamed up with Joey to give you a 35% discount on your first order. Get it all at meetjoey.com/football.
So where are we on what we think Bo Nix is going to be coming back from his injury, and the Denver Broncos? They went out and got Jalen Waddle now. They went out and got him a weapon, much in the same way we're talking about, A.J. Brown going to New England. They've given Bo Nix another threat with a pretty good wide receiving core to begin with.
It's similar to what the Rams did.
Yeah.
Rams went and got a rusher. And this guy got another guy on offense that can really make a difference because they're good. This is a good football team. And on defense, superior.
Yeah.
And no doubt Sean Payton has stabilized that organization. Now, that being said, in my opinion, and watching him the last few years, Vance Joseph is the MVP.
Yeah.
Vance Joseph has done an unbelievable job with that defense.
Listen, that's a great point. And I don't think people give Vance enough credit for this one thing more than anything else. Can you name another guy who was the head coach of a team, got fired, and then decided to go back and be a coordinator for that same franchise. I give him all the respect in the world for just being man enough to say, whatever happened before, fuck it. You know?
He keeps pulling in the parking lot. Oh, yeah, I got my spot's over here now.
I mean, that's a guy, you know, and remember, when Miami put, 70 on him that game everybody wanted Vance Joseph out.
Well, first of all, his opportunity in Denver was horseshit.
Yeah.
He had no quarterback.
Correct.
And then they drafted the kid from Memphis. It was terrible.
Yeah.
Yep.
And John Elway, the Hall of Fame quarterback, did not give him a chance to have success. That being said, you know, Vance, after I've worked with him for 4 years, so I'm biased, he is one of the best leader of men I've ever been.
He's fantastic.
He's one of those guys. He gets the most out of the guys. He gets them prepared.
Yeah.
Defensively, they're prepared.
And
And they don't get in the way of each other with scheme.
And there's two things. When organizations realize, and now this is different ownership.
Sure.
And they got almost much money as God.
Yeah.
Like they rich.
No, they're the 1%. I mean, the 1%. Yeah. There's the 1%. There's the 1% of the 1%.
Right.
That's where they are.
I think they're the one where the wife has more money than the husband, right?
Also correct.
Okay. And nothing wrong with it. I just never ran into that situation. But okay.
I'd like to.
But
You can ask Travis next time.
That's why he had that bodyguard. He got a leash.
He's on loan.
He got a leash on him like I used to send my kids to the Boca Mall. I have him on a leash. Hey, come on back here now. Now, go ahead, Trey.
I'm on that one for a while. But, you know, I talked to Sean earlier this year. We had him on the show, and I said, "Look, man, you've done an amazing job this past year." Outside, I reminded him that field goals were important, and maybe he should have kicked that field goal and go up 10-0 with the blizzard coming. But the other thing I said to him was like, "Look, these one-score games, like." That doesn't happen every year. And he said, I know that we're going to be one of those few teams that know we have the talent to be there when it's at the end. The question is, how do we make sure we don't put ourselves in situations where we have to rely on those crazy endings on those one-score games? And I thought that was a really interesting perspective for him to share. Right. Like, he knows that we can't do that anymore.
Right. When you see good coaches and they're trying to establish their program, the games in the NFL, I don't care if you're Andy Reid, Don Shula, the game's going to come down to 3 to 5 points.
Correct.
So regardless of that, but it takes time to implement your program. So my man Ben Johnson in Chicago.
Yep.
It's monumental they win those close games because guess what? Yeah. Now I got proof of concept to the guys. Hey, guys, if we stick with this, like these games are so hard to win, and we act like it's a curse if we win a one-score game. Like we've seen Detroit's done it. Minnesota's done it over the last couple of years. Yeah. We saw New England do it. Like
every year there's a stat that says 80% NFL games come down to 5 points or less.
Yes.
You know what I mean? There's a stat.
It's hard to win any game in the NFL. No matter how many points, no matter who you're playing, there are no shoe-in wins in any game. Anyone can win any Sunday.
Yeah, but they got a real program, new ownership there in Denver, and Sean Payton is a dude.
He is a dude of dudes.
And he's passing on the reins. We'll see how long it lasts.
Well, he just got that contract extension, so he's pretty happy about
Davis
that.
Webb to call the plays now, or
that was surprising to
offense.
Me.
Yeah. We don't know. You know, we'll see how it plays out.
It's on paper right now.
It's on paper,
but some of the telecommunications can still. You'll see his lips moving a lot.
Davis was his right-hand man.
Okay.
And that's the thing. So, Davis got opportunities to interview for some head coaching jobs, and I know people put in slips for him to be the coordinator. So Sean had to make a move.
Okay.
He had to make a move.
With that in mind, one of the things that I love most about Denver last year is that all the things we do in this league, and it sort of shifted back a little more to a better balance between run and pass on offense. To me, at the end of the day, if you win the line of scrimmage, you're going to win a lot of football games. Mm-hmm. Denver Broncos tied with the Rams, I think, for the fewest sacks allowed last year, and I think they were in the top 3 in most sacks taken down to the other quarterback. If you can do that on the offensive and defensive side of the ball, that tells me you're dominating the line of scrimmage, and that means you're going to be in almost every football game you play.
Game starts up front, right? Both sides of the football. That's what we always thought in Chicago with Coach Smith. Go back to what you said earlier, Coach, about knowing what you're doing on defense and trusting your guys. And when you get out there and you line up on Sunday, you know exactly what you're doing. You're not thinking. it's a compliment to your coach because you know you're prepared. You're not questioning anything about what you're doing. You know exactly when the ball snapped, where you're supposed to go. You're playing fast.
Playing fast.
You're playing fast. That's all you want to do.
We want.
And they play. Good defenses play fast, and the great ones play really fast.
There's a big difference on Monday when that guy, that being the head coach, and then he gives it over to the offense and defensive coordinator, what they say to you and your belief in what they're saying. Because, man, I used to be like Denny Green. That's gospel. This is how we're going to tackle them. This is how we're going to go about it. They leave you the groundwork, and you build up confidence. When you're taking over these programs, first, second year, you're trying to get a team into the playoffs. Like, those things become your building block, your foundation to what the team's going to play like, especially late in the season.
If you enjoy content like this, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're on that road to 100,000 subs. Hit that button, folks. And if you want to help us get there, share this with someone who will enjoy it too.
So then you mentioned trust and foundation, right? Then we get to the Chargers, and they went through hell last year. They lost. They have two legitimate franchise tackles. They lost them both.
Yes.
That's going to set back any organization. I thought Justin Herbert played his ass off last year until we got to the postseason.
Yeah.
Now, granted, he played against a really good defense in New England. We have to throw that out there. But we've seen now a pattern where the Justin Herbert of the regular season, and that guy is amazing, doesn't seem to translate into the same guy we see in the postseason. How worrisome is that?
I think it's worrisome, Trey, but at the same time, I think you just said it best. I mean, once you get to the playoffs, depending on your roster makeup, there's attrition with injuries.
Yes.
And that goes back to the Josh Allen thing. Does he have to wear the cape, or can he have some help around him? You know, so obviously they were bitten by the bug last year with injuries. I'm excited to see this year how they start and how they finish. Obviously, Joe Ortiz from Baltimore gets it. They've done a great job drafting in both Baltimore and obviously now at the Chargers, and I think they're an ascending team.
Well, they missed the running back for part of the season.
Correct.
Herbert breaks his hand. Yep. I was actually doing the game when he hurt his hand, and I pointed it out to the guys. He hurt that hand. You know, and because the way he was holding it when he got up. And so they did. That injury bug, it kind of hit them, and it hit them in the same spots time and time. And that's really hard when you're digging down to your fourth tackle.
Correct.
You compare him to, I compare him a little bit to maybe Josh Allen in the playoffs. He had nobody around him either. Is he wearing the cape? You know, because in the playoffs, he's all they had. Their running back was down. They had 7, 8 linemen hurt. He was the guy. If he didn't do it, it wasn't going to get it done. And like you said, Vrabel, he'll take that away from you. Maybe that's why he has such a bad game.
As a general manager, when you used to look at the depth chart and you'd always say, okay, we can win here, we can do this. There's a certain point in time where you just put your head between your legs and kiss your ass goodbye. You're done. You got no chance.
Well,
But if you look at all 32 quarterbacks, and you guys have been to the combine, and unfortunately for me, my first meeting with Justin Herbert was after the weigh-in.
Yeah.
And the dude took his shirt off for the weigh-in. Now, Marv, you said you've seen, like, the expectation of how he looks and how he throws the ball, it's always going to be like that.
Yeah.
Like, they got to get him some help.
Yeah.
Because he has the perfect frame and athleticism for the position. When you guys put up you have a little card, index card, prototype, per position, height, weight, disposition, like, that's who he is. Yeah. And I do believe that Harbaugh will get the best of him, but it still takes other pieces, the running game. You can't replace 4 tackles.
No, you can't.
No.
There's not 2 good enough ones.
To your point, though, about sometimes you just know when the journey's over. The great line with Tom Moore, the longtime offensive coordinator, when he was in Indianapolis, broadcast crew went over and said, "Hey, Tom, we noticed that your backup quarterback didn't get any snaps with the first team. Why is that?" Tom looked at him and said, "See that guy over there?" Pointing to Payton Manning. "That's 18.
Oh, yeah.
If 18 goes down, we're fucked.
Yeah.
And we don't practice fucked."
Yeah.
Amen.
It's one of the greatest lines of all time.
Tom Moore changed my career.
Yeah.
When Denny Green hired him, he called me up, one of the first calls.
Yeah.
Been watching the offense here, Chrissy. He used to call me Chrissy.
Yeah.
Been watching the offense here, Chrissy. Guess what's getting ready to happen, Chrissy? I said, "No, what, sir? I'm getting ready to move your ass in the slot, and we getting ready to play basketball on turf. I know you came from a basketball family. I know you love playing basketball. That's where we can get your ass in shape."
He's one of the best.
Tom's an all-timer.
Tony Dungy's college coach.
Absolutely. An absolute all-timer.
I mean, he's one of the best. But, just talking about, this situation with Herbert. I'm telling you now, dude he's impressive. They got to play better on defense. They got a new coordinator now. You got a new coordinator on offense, and my man Mike McDaniel, the brother Mike McDaniel, I guess he's brother now. But I'm sorry, I had to do it. I had to do it. But to me, I think Jim has still got to be able to shape this football team as he does so well. We were talking about quarterbacks earlier about playing like a linebacker. Well, Jim was our quarterback when I was with the Ravens, and he played like a linebacker, which is great for your football team because everybody's going to rally behind him. And that's the kind of guy he's been as a coach, which is, to me, is really impressive. You know what you're getting.
And he inspires belief. There's no question about it. Do we believe the Raiders have finally made a turn in the right direction? Because I got to be honest, I feel like they're starting to do things the way a responsible organization would do things.
Well, I think we said yes. When you inherit that first pick, you hope there's a frickin' first pick there.
Yeah.
Right.
And in this case, they got one, in my opinion, in Mendoza. I mean, they inherited, Clint inherited the first pick, and there's a guy there who warrants it. And my only reservation of him is his interviews is like he's reading from a teleprompter after the games, that he doesn't put too much pressure on himself.
I mean, if you look at long-time organizational dysfunction to a degree, I mean, I don't think there's any question that Tom Brady's handprints are all over this thing. When I talk about the infrastructure, the things that are going on a daily basis, the training center, the dietitians, all the different things that were important to Tom, there's no doubt he's implementing there.
Yeah, I had a conversation with Tom in Minnesota. He was calling one of the games, and I don't know if the Tom I talked to is ever going to show up on the broadcast, and it's intentional.
I agree.
It's intentional. But what he talked about the Raiders and what they were going to do, you knew that they were changing. Now, Tom being in ownership first year, the broadcast and some of the disputes and everything, I could see him in the first year being like, But now you can see and you can hear, and I'm just going to tell you, if you ever talk football with Tom Brady, you talk people, you're going to be enriched by what he really, really knows. And you're going to start to understand why he was so successful, why he was such a great leader, why he was able to play for such a long time. So for me, I believe the Raiders, they will be back. They're doing a lot of things the right way. They got a lot of good football people in the building. So I look for them to get it turned around.
I'm sorry. I was happy they kept Maxx Crosby. He's one of my favorite players.
I was going to ask you about that.
Oh, go ahead and ask me that.
Because I find this interesting, right? There clearly was a rift in the organization when they said, he's injured, he can't play at the end of the season. Because Maxx plays more snaps as a defensive lineman than anybody in football.
Set your watch by him, Trey.
Yes. He plays.
6 a.m. to 6 p.m. every frickin' day.
So the minute that happened, he posted a video on his socials of him playing basketball, which is basically saying, I can play.
Yep.
Okay? So it's great that he's back, but they did trade him away. Brian, this is a guy who has a high motor. Yeah. He is a passionate MFer. I gotta feel like there's going to be a process to sort of let's make sure we're all good here before it's all happy Raiderland.
Well, his coach, who he's had, is Robbie Leonard, who Steve knows, from NC State guy, leading tackler in NC State history, from what I understand.
Okay.
But Robbie's been his coach. Now he's the coordinator. So I think that, to me, that's part of Robbie's job is to bring Maxx 100% back into the fold, because he has been. Yeah. As I said, man, you could set your watch by that every morning.
He plays harder than any
plays hard. He takes care of his body. That's what he does, and he cares.
Yeah.
His only drawback is him trying to do too much within the game, and thinking he has to win the game all the time. Now, if they get an offense, it'll be a little different.
Yeah. I mean,
they get an offense, they'll be a little different.
He could do it. He's the one guy. There's a couple guys. Him and Myles Garrett can wreck some game plans, but Maxx
he can
Crosby,
he can wreck shit.
with that roster they had, he could do it. He's the only guy on that team that could probably do it. But now maybe he'll get some help on their side of the football. But I'm such a big fan of his. The way he plays the game, when you teach a kid how to play, put on Maxx Crosby tape because that's how you want your kid to play effort-wise.
Not a bad 4th-round pick.
Yeah.
Terrible. Well, it made up for they kick out of Clemson in the first round. What was his name? I can't remember it. He's bounced around the league. He was like 3rd overall pick. Yeah, Cleveland Farrell. Thank you. Cleveland Farrell, that's who it was. So it bounced. Maxx Crosby made the Cleveland Farrell miss okay because they got him in the same draft in 2019. The other thing we talked about, this Tyler Linderbaum, this center over from Baltimore, made him the highest paid center in football, the Raiders did. And Creed Humphrey's looking over his shoulder like, hey, Brett Veach, we got to talk now. We've reset the market. To me, that's an indication that they know that at some point this season, sooner rather than later, they're going to be playing a rookie quarterback.
That's right.
And they want the best guy in front of him, as we all know, centers call the protections on the line, to make sure when he goes in there, we're not going to be fish out of barrel situation here.
And what's interesting is when I started in this business, we really put such an emphasis on left tackles, obviously, but the center position has gotten much, much more important.
Agreed.
And we've put much more emphasis on it for the right reasons, and that's to help a lot of these young quarterbacks. But Tyler Linderbaum not only is a tremendous student of the game from a mental standpoint, he was one of the better athletic centers I've ever scouted.
Yeah.
Could reach in the second level, combination blocks, all those sort of things that are, a lot of times those guys can't do.
Yeah, Tom Brady talked about how fortunate he was early in his career. His quarterback coach passed away, Dick Rabine. Now, Dick Rabine was a former wide receiver coach in Minnesota. So I was very, very familiar with Dick Rabine. I can tell you, if Dick Rabine stays the coach, Tom Brady's just a regular dude.
Yeah.
Now, when Dick Rabine died, Bill Belichick decided to start going into the quarterback room and started going over coverages. Tom was schooled on every coverage, what the weaknesses were the coverage, and he just talked about with me just how it made such a big difference in his early career because he wasn't fooled by the defenses. Now, it took some time for him to develop the anticipation, be able to make the throws.
Correct.
But when you have Kirk Cousins, if we were having an X's and O's contest, defenses, how we're going to attack them, what's the read and everything, Kirk Cousins, to me, would be one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league. When you hear him talk about football, so what Kirk Cousins' presence with Mendoza early, I believe will pay dividends for years for the Raiders. So this is not the normal Raiders.
Yeah.
Like they really have a guy who can either start, but his thumbprint will be on Mendoza's career and the impact on him as a young man. You couldn't have a better mentor
one of the
than
things
Kirk Cousins.
I can attest to is Carson Palmer used to always tell me one of the greatest things that ever happened to him was you guys had Kirk Kitna, John Kitna.
John Kitna taught Carson how to be a pro.
Yeah.
Same
thing Alex Smith with Mahomes. Same
every way. But the one thing that I don't know it's going to be up to Clint Kubiak to get Kirk Cousins to be that guy. Because from what I understand, he wasn't that guy in Atlanta with Penix.
Yeah. But it's interesting, when you're not that guy and you see what happens when you're not that guy, maybe it's a little easier to be that guy when you've had that situation.
You've already been through that situation.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think that the communication was totally different than what he was promised because he's like, man, if I'd have come to Atlanta and done that, I'd stayed in Minnesota.
Correct.
They got some dudes up there that I end up leaving. I would have stayed up there for less money to come down here and be stabbed in the back by you guys because Kirk knew when you put that type of resource into a quarterback, he is going to play.
Yeah.
Like he's going to play.
So with that being said, right now you look at the depth chart for the Raiders, and it is Kirk Cousins 1, Fernando Mendoza number 2. Week 1, who do you think starts?
Kirk Cousins.
Mendoza.
Kirk Cousins.
Mendoza.
I think coaches,
I love that.
Yeah. You can attest to this. Every coach I've been around, and obviously we always had our friction sometimes with personnel and coaching.
Yeah.
Because you want this guy to play and they want that guy to play. Yeah. What do coaches want the most? A guy they can trust.
A guy you can trust. But I will give Mike Brown credit. When I took the job in Cincinnati and we drafted Carson 1, and John was there, all the players kept coming to me all the times, Marvin, we don't need a quarterback in the draft because they had lived through the past. But
Keely Smith.
Yes, I don't want to name names, but
I'm just saying it was rare around that time. That's all I'm trying to say.
All these guys, players, coaches, they all want to win.
Yeah, they all want to win.
Kirk Cousins, in my opinion, knowing young players, is going to be so far ahead mentally than Mendoza. It's going to be too visual for everybody to
Steep of a hill for him to climb.
Yeah, in my opinion.
The issue I see though, offensively, still with the Raiders, they got no receivers.
Yeah.
Yep. Problem.
I mean, Zach Bowers is the real deal.
Yeah, they're going to end this career, though. They're going to throw in the ball 200 times. I mean, you're talking about overusage.
I mean, but dude is
He's different.
he's a machine.
Yes.
He's different.
Yeah, he is.
He's different.
All that being said, with all the things that we talked about, which we believe are positive for the Raiders, and it's the first time I've felt in 6 years that I'm really positive about the Raiders, they're probably going to still finish fourth in this division, right? Because of the quarterbacks.
Tough division.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
one of the best in football.
tough, man.
Bo Nix comes back. I mean,
Yeah.
Bo Nix sitting in my office. I'm just like, oh my God, this is what an NFL quarterback looks like. You know, and then he goes in front of us and in the division. I mean, that's shit. Come on, man.
That's not what you're looking for.
And I like that little friction between him and Sean Payton, too, now.
Well, but that's it. That's him.
Yeah.
That's
He's
him. He's
competitive.
the son of a coach.
Yeah.
He. You know, I was with Kenny Dillingham. Kenny recruited him to Auburn. He follows Kenny to Oregon. I know everything about this dude, man. And we didn't take it.
I love that.
So
And we
again,
didn't take him.
Raiders fans, there is optimism. It just may not pan out the way you want.
Put me here,
this
man.
year. It just may not be this year.
I can't wait to hear your comments as we get through the season. All these people that done Marv wrong. he did
Marv,
like
who'd they
this.
take?
Damn.
We took Zach.
So that's it for this episode. Thanks for watching. Hey, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button because the next video is about to drop. Has been curated just for you. Touchdown. I don't know what to do with my hands. This is awkward. Madonna, strike a pose, Vogue.